And the 34th says in Tibetan, Njikten kunye dongjindu jizi jewu ji ne telu tene madik patese tene naksa song. We kind of, those 4 lines, we kind of made a ceremony of it a few months ago. Yes. You might have seen it in terms of photographs and messages and so on. And so therefore, I'm not trying to make it too dramatic. And it's also not the Shantideva's way also. But let's say we try to make it dramatic. It's kind of saying what we all think we should never ever do, you know, as a well-behaved social person and as a spiritual person on top. Suicide. Yes? We make that aspect so forbidden, you know, the greatest temptation, you know, helpline and so on. Yeah. Not that they are bad in any way. And so therefore, is it mine? Nope, it's not me. And the last line says, "This is dunya naksu song or naktu song." And so therefore, commit partial suicide, half suicide, sort of, if you make it very, very dramatic. Yeah. Because the culture, the first line says Njikten kunye dongjindu, you know. The local tradition, the local sort of practice is such that then we have to mourn, we have to wear black clothing or white clothing, basically dull, you know, to somehow go along with the sense on the mood of mourning, you know. There is a meaning there also, you know. Here in the noble land of Bharat, and or what we commonly known for a very, very brief period as India, you know, because it was not known as in India for a long, long time. It was actually known as Bharat. We say Jagar in Tibetan. Yes, there was that practice to wear white clothing. Actually, that's more meaningful. Yeah? It means a clean slate of some kind, a blank page, you know. Once again, going back to the idea, symbolism of shunyata, yeah? Not black. Okay, you know, that also has its own beauty as well. Yeah? And so therefore, then according to that mood, that atmosphere, then what normally happens is that by the second line says, the corpse is being carried, and by the third line says it's so much fuss, you know? So much a fuss, over fuss about carrying that corpse. And so therefore, without all that fuss, now that I have compared my so-called living body alongside the what seems like a corpse, since we can see that there is not much difference, you know, then why make that fuss? Yeah? Of course, we have a term for that, is to make nice. You know? It's aesthetically pleasing. Yes. We make a ceremony out of it, you know. Just to go to the coffee shop. We don't know it, but it's death sentence. Because eventually it will come to the last sip. Should we go for another round or not? And so therefore it becomes, until the last sip, it's not philosophical, but when it comes to the last sip, it becomes very philosophical. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. And so therefore, let's think fresh, let's think new. What can we do, you know? Or in this case, not so much as what we, as having to become an anarchist, you know, in a literal sense, go against the regime and this and that. Not in that, not so much in an alarming way, but what can I do? Because I have a very strong sense of an I. And so, how can I think differently? How can I think fresh and renew it, or think something that is never thought of before? And so in this case saying, go to the cemetery ahead, before I'm being carried, you know, before the locals begin to shed tears and cry and howl and play all sorts of dramatic dances, you know.